And I am Rayya. Be sure to go to our website, pointingtakes.com, subscribe to all of our channels, interact with us on social media, and yeah, talk to us about what's going on Love is Blind. We don't care.
Actually, we do care, and we're going to talk about that. But no, yes, go check out our website, go check out our socials. Thank you again, Dirty Bones here in Dallas.
Round two.
Round two.
But this time we're outside.
We are, and it's a beautiful, well, what is it, 76 or 8?
It's like in the 80s.
Yeah, here in Dallas. Like last week, we were a little bundled up, but it is nice. We have the Stars, New York Islanders here at American Airlines. Beautiful arena right behind us. So
exciting.
So, like, cheers.
Cheers to us. Wow.
Here we go. What are you drinking, Rayya? That looks very pretty, very decorative.
Yes, it is. It is called the Blue Line. It's got peach Kettle One, some blue curacao. I think it's like orange juice, grapefruit juice, maybe some lemon lime. Yeah, it's really good. It tastes like vacation, honestly. It doesn't taste like a penalty or icing or offsides or whatever.
All the things we hope we don't see from the Stars tonight, but I'm drinking the Afternoon Delight. It does taste like that. It is very nice. It has Bacardi pineapple. It has lime juice, pineapple juice, and a little bit of ginger beer. Although you can't really see the color of it, but
it's like a Moscow Mule, but with rum.
Moscow Mule. So it is nice. I love the ginger though. That is delightful. So thank you again, Dirty Bones, for
the hospitality. We love coming here. As you guys know, literally every week I am here. So
yeah, you are. You do help keep the lights on.
I do. All right, let's just get into it.
Yes.
Let's start off with our favorite. There's a big card in Mexico City for the UFC this past weekend. It was not a pay-per-view, but it might as well have been, with all the attention that all the Mexican and Mexican-American fighters got. What were some of your takeaways from this weekend?
Man, we talked about it last week. How about the comeback of Brian Ortega?
Which I called, by the way.
That's why I'm taking a shot. You broke your streak.
I did. I finally broke my prediction streak. I finally got something right.
Yeah, I mean, his last fight against Jair, unfortunately, ended due to a shoulder injury. Before that, obviously, he had fought Volkanovski. His last win was in October 2020 against the Korean zombie Chong Sung-yoon. So he really needed, this was a pretty much more of a must-win for him than I think Jair, just to see because of the long layoff, and boy did he deliver. Yeah,
that fight was just as dynamic, if not more dynamic than we thought it was going to be. It was a lot of fun to watch, and like you said, all he has to do is sink in a choke and it could be completely over, and that's exactly what it took.
Well, yeah, he's a Gracie, black belt, and, I mean, that first fight, Jair took full control. I think he had 2 drops in that, which most judges, that's a 10-8. But once it went into that second round, Brian's grappling and control. And you could kind of see that I think Jair was a little gassed at the end.
I was going to say, Jair was tired, and I don't know if it was like an elevation thing or just maybe he doesn't have the, ground cardio and on-feet cardio are completely different things.
Well, and Brian's a really big featherweight, too. He's very strong, and he has that really strong top control. We saw that against Jair when he took on Frankie Edgar right here in Dallas, and there's leaps and bounds. Jair is very slick, but Brian is just that high level of grappling. That's what they can do to you. So,
on the other side of the coin, for the main event, the Battle of the Brandons, Brandon Royval going to decision with Brandon Moreno. It was a split decision. There was a lot of talk about the controversy around judging. How did you see it? Do you think the judges got this one right?
I mean, when you look at significant strike based on what Royval, the output, I can kind of see it. But then you look at the multiple takedowns that I don't think anyone really got robbed. It was a very tit-for-tat fight back and forth, which a lot of those fights in Marino.
How fun were those scrambles?
They were great. And that's why I love watching the flyweights, and specifically Brandon Moreno, because those are the kind of fights. And it was exciting. And hats off to Brandon Royval. He said today they probably tore his MCL. That is wild, because he would be getting the next title shot against Alexander Pantoja. I don't think so, because it was a very short notice fight. I believe Brandon Moreno was supposed to take on Ali Al-Bullies. He is undefeated. That guy's on a 4-fight win streak. That's more of a guy I think is next. But and Padel already has wins over both Ravel and Marino, so I couldn't see this being the next for him. There's other guys, and there's a fight this weekend, Mohamed Malkayev.
Yeah, that's a big flyweight.
And he has most of his wins are by submission. I kind of would love to see that puzzle, but still a great fight. A win puts them back in the right track.
So what happens to our boy Brandon Moreno coming off the loss?
Well, Henry Cejudo, his old boy, reached.
I saw that.
He said, "How about in September at the Sphere? There's going to be a big, Mexican Independence Day. I don't mind that. Just real quick, there's a story there. I mean, they trained together, and then on the Ultimate Fighter, Brandon Moreno was selected by Benavidez to be on his team. I don't know if that quite caused fiction, but in the end, Figueiredo was in that Cejudo camp against Brandon Moreno, and I think there's a lot of respect there, and I would love to see it. Obviously, it'd probably be at 135. I can't see Cejudo
going back to 125. And this is one of those things. A few weeks ago, I said, Henry Cejudo, what is the point of you still being in the UFC? You've made your money. You are Triple C. You're not going to ever get back to where you were. But if we're going to have these entertaining super fights, that's fine with me. Fine. Fight Brandon Moreno. Cool. 135, I'll take it.
Oh yeah, it's old mentor versus kind of student, right? And so Brandon Moreno took him under his wing. I'm excited if that's the move. I mean, Moreno is always in the mix, and 125, it's hard to really get a really solid streak going because of how fast and how dynamic these fighters are.
For sure. So anything else, any other takeaways from this Mexico City card that you want to call out? I know that one of the fights we were looking forward to, Ricky.
Raul Jr.
Raul and Ricky.
Yeah, and unfortunately Raul fell ill before the fight. That has been rescheduled for this coming Saturday, so looking forward to that. No, I think those were probably the biggest two takeaways that co-made it, and both, I mean, in my opinion, did deliver, especially with how short notice that Brandon Ravel. Hats off to him. Yeah,
definitely. And so you mentioned we got another fight lined up for Vegas. Like I said, 11 straight weeks of fights. I'm so pumped. So this is the one before the next pay-per-view.
Cheers to that, by the way. Fighting is back.
Well, now that football season's over, it's all I have.
There's a lot of it, though.
Definitely. So another round of fights in Vegas. We have two teammates on this card. Yes. Abdul Sawadi is making his long-awaited UFC debut, and then
and we also have Matt Schnell talk about flyweight. He's looking. He's unfortunately had to have some canceled bouts, so it's been since 2022 since I think he's fought. So
since that incredible come from behind choke, was that his last? That was his last win. I don't know if that was his last fight.
That wasn't his last fight, but he's had personal stuff in that, and he's looking to get back. And like we just said, that 125, it's a shakeup. So if he can get a win, get back in the column.
Speaking of Abdul, I went to a Fury fight on Friday night, which is kind of out of character for me. I don't really go to local shows anymore. I saw some really great talent, like up-and-coming talent at the Fury fights. Jacoby Smith, that's a name y'all gotta watch out for.
What a quick knockout! Shout out to
absolutely starched
him. It went viral.
I mean, as it should have.
Yeah.
Like, try being in the audience, I just gasped. I was like, did this just happen?
It was a barely minute in, and boom,
18
over.
seconds,
and it gets
Charlie.
a very tough opponent, Jared McLaughlin. And then Julian as well.
Julian Holmes, Julian Holmes winning by submission, I believe.
Winning by submission. He's been on a win streak lately.
But yeah, lots of up-and-coming talent in not just Texas, but Oklahoma and other states around. And so that was really cool to see. I hadn't been to a local MMA fight in probably 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, I mean, love local MMA. Would love to see more consistency and promotion come here. Pre-COVID, we saw a lot. LFA. Although shout out to XKO, they do a very good job. So
I mean, we've been invited to FFL.
Yes.
FFFL. By Stephen Ocho Peterson, so maybe in April we can figure out something to do. That'd be really cool.
Definitely love supporting the local guys, and man, I know the UFC. I know a lot love to come here because of the upcoming talent, and hopefully get to see more of these guys get a shot.
Yep, definitely. All right, moving away from UFC, the other big story in Dallas sports. The Mavs win streak finally came to an end yesterday against the Indiana Pacers. I think they lost by 22.
Yeah, it was not pretty. Like you said, the streak ended. I got to catch a good bit of it. And
so did I.
Like the defense just that flattened.
We don't have defense.
No, but there've been times where it's been a little bit better in the last couple of games. I felt like they just looked motionless, like flat out there.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't what we're used to seeing, but fatigue can play into that a little bit. I mean, it's not easy winning 7 games in a row. And it's not easy being on the road. They can get back on track versus Cleveland tomorrow.
Yeah.
But what do you think needs to be the biggest improvement?
want to see a little more intensity. I kind of missed that when we got this trade going. I mean, it felt like they were just on fire. Just get their rhythm back. I just felt like there was a little bit more of a disconnect throughout the game. But hey, they are going up against the old coach Carla, who's a better game.
I know, it felt like a rivalry game
Yeah.
almost. Like it was a little
I kind of
emotional.
felt like there's some tension there in a way, you know. Just get back to what you're doing. Be aggressive. Be aggressive on those rebounds. That's what we were doing so well in those first 6 games, obviously, with Gafford and Washington being it. So just get back there. You're still the same team. I just want to see that aggressiveness.
Definitely. All right. Any other Mavericks notes?
Now it's time to hit the gears. What is it? An Independence Day, light the fires or kick the tires. Man, love that line, Harry Connick Jr.
Light the fires and kick the tires.
Kick the tires and light the
Yeah, there we go.
fires.
Kick the tires. And I got that dyslexic backward. But I love that movie, by the way. So yeah, just kick your butt in the gear. You've never seen it?
No.
What?
No.
Never seen Independence Day? Oh man.
I don't watch a lot of movies.
You gotta watch a movie marathon. How can you not watch it? It's great.
I like Marvel movies.
Okay, well that's one plus. But to be fair, you're pretty. What, 96? How old were you in 96?
I was 5 in 96.
Okay, yeah, that was about 8. So, but my dad's like, we're going to that movie.
All right. Next up, Elimination Chamber took place early in the effing morning on Saturday, which I definitely did not tune in.
I did. You know what? I said I was gonna watch the replay. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna have 4. 3:30. I was up. I was like, I think I was texting you. I was like, I don't know why I'm up for this. I mean, I know why I'm up for this, but I was not expecting to be. I even went back and rewatched it yesterday.
You rewatch it? What is
Yes.
wrong with you? You told me everything
Well,
went
one of
chalk.
our friends that wanted to see it too, and they did not stay up at 4 a.m. and I was half awake at 4, so it was
Half
nice.
awake. Did you stay up all night again, Charlie?
I mean, if all night is up to like 1 a.m. and 2 hours of sleep, then yeah.
Oh, okay. So you were actually home by 1. Thank God. I get nervous. I worry about him.
I got about 2. I got a nice full 45 minutes like an elf.
Oh, nice. Like an elf.
Yeah. I was power nap, got up, turned it on, then took another 3-hour nap.
All right. Tell me what I need to know about Elimination Chamber and how this affects WrestleMania.
Well, I will say, for my predictions, by the way, my streak is still going.
You got them all right.
I felt it was pretty.
But
pretty
from what you said last week, everything was very obvious.
Yeah,
and
everything was very, predictable. I was not surprised by that, just with the stories that were and the angles we got to set up, WrestleMania. Although I'm always down for a curveball, but yeah, it was pretty straight to the point. Drew McIntyre won the men's elimination chamber. Not surprised by that, but was surprised by some of the in-moment angles that we might see. Logan Paul costing Randy Orton in the end with the brass knuckles. Could we see an angle there? Would love it.
What is with Logan Paul and these dang brass knuckles? Like, come on.
You know what? If you ain't cheating, you're not trying, right? And it was kind of funny, real quick. There's a little they're showing all of his past guests that he's had angles with all of them except for John Cena now. So I mean, assuming the Randy Orton, I'm excited if that does happen. Will that be admitted? We'll see. And then AJ Styles came in and cost LA Knight. Did not see that one coming. Nasty chair shot. So maybe an angle there. That we're gonna see, and then Becky Lynch, you said you wanted her to win.
Yeah, I did. I did say that.
Honestly, I like the women's match a little bit more than the men's match, just because there was a lot more high athletic spots in that. I just love watching their passion in it. So, but Becky wins. Tag team doesn't change. Judgment Day over the new Catch Republic. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bates, and then the mommy.
The mommy?
Mommy, Rhea Ripley, wins over Nia Jax. That was pretty. I pretty thought that was going to happen. You're there in Australia. It was cool seeing her parents, there supporting
that is
her.
Nice.
She got a really good pop there, so I like that.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
Like I said, pretty predictable. We'll see what happens tonight on Raw, this week on SmackDown.
Hey, SmackDown's coming to Dallas next week.
It is, and The Rock's supposedly be there, so if you're coming to SmackDown, so is the People's Champ.
Oh. There we go. Yeah, we looked into tickets, but it's really expensive. Ever since they announced The Rock, it's triple, quadruple the price it should be.
Yes, it is The Rock. So no, I thought it was an okay card, but like I said, pretty predictable. I'm not having a shot, so I'm happy.
You're not having a shot for that. Okay.
Not for that.
Fair enough. Sticking in the entertainment realm, Love is Blind dropped episodes 7, 8, and 9 last week, and we of course binged it. And all of the things I said in last episode, I absolutely take back. I hate everybody. They all suck.
Yeah. Eject button. I know.
I'm getting. It's Shades of Houston.
You're no longer Team Trevor.
Hell no. F no. And he
By
wasn't
the way,
even.
he doesn't know why you don't like him yet.
I know, and I feel so dumb. Like I feel like Love is Blind did me dirty. So spoilers, if you haven't seen episode 7, 8, 9, or haven't been on Love is Blind TikTok, I'm about to spoil some real stuff for you.
Well, let's spoil it. Let's go.
Okay.
So we want to take a shot since we're gonna spill all this tea.
Oh my God, yeah, I need a shot.
You have a white tea, so there you go.
And you got a green tea.
There we go. We didn't plan that. It just happened.
That's the biggest shot ever.
Why? Why do they always do this to me? At least this week I didn't miss my mouth.
It went in my sinuses. I don't need Afrin now. I have green tea.
Yeah, well, last week I had like white tea dripping down the side of my face, and I was like, this is not a good look. You're such a good friend. Good friend. No, okay. All right, I'll start with Trevor. Trevor, Jeremy, and Amber all were in relationships while filming. Like, not relationships from the pods, but they had like a significant other back home.
What was engagement, right? Jeremy.
Jeremy.
The A is silent.
No, it's not. He's a real a-hole. Anyway, all had relationships going into filming. Trevor's now ex-girlfriend, who he allegedly broke up with 2 weeks ago, aka when it started airing on Netflix, she said, yeah, we just broke up 2 weeks ago. He told me he wanted to be like a D-list celebrity, so I let him go on the show. And she released like actual like screenshots of their text messages. He's like, yeah, I met this girl Chelsea, but she broke up with me for somebody else. Like, he was telling her everything that was going on. But he like sold himself as this like super nice guy and like the opposite of Jimmy.
So you're saying you can't trust the nice ones?
You can't trust a hoe.
Anybody that's on these shows, right?
Okay, so this is a question I have for you, because you have dabbled in being casted in reality TV. Like, I know we auditioned for a game show, but the game show and reality TV are completely different, like, casting processes. So, from what I heard about the Love is Blind casting process, they do open applications that you can go and, like, apply yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
But then they have producers slide into your DMs after like stalking you and ask you to apply. And that's the case. That was the case for Trevor and for Jeremy as well.
Well, some have actually just have slided, especially it depends on your social media following too. They do now, especially nowadays, I mean, they do follow a lot of, just people out there that are kind of popular. I don't know if that was the case with Jeremy, but obviously we saw that they slid in the deal. And it sounds like they were aware. Now, this isn't shocking into reality dating world. We've seen people on The Bachelorette get caught.
I know, but like on top of that, you're telling me that part of the process after you apply and you get selected, you got to go through a round of like psychological testing and exams. They like talk to your family, they talk to your friends, like they make sure like everything you're saying makes sense, especially with the guy from last season.
They deep dive in your socials.
The guy from last season that was like hella abusive to the girl and was like, oh, my family doesn't even, like his family didn't talk to him because he was always lying about stuff. Like, I know they have to take precautions so they don't get sued or whatever, but like I just feel like you had 3 people this season that you're telling me you didn't know?
Yeah, it makes you really question right now the vetting process.
Yeah.
Because there is going to be someone this person is going to make a connection with, and then it's all false on the other end. And it also is just like, okay, what are we doing here? I mean, yes, this is a show. Yes, it's about dating, and we want twists. But when 3 people, come on now. Especially one being engaged.
Yeah, engaged with a child. Like it was really like rough to see all of this come out.
Now that makes for a good after, like I mean,
it keeps you tuned into the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's like talk about on-camera stuff instead of off-camera stuff. So, discarding what we know about these douchebags, there was a lot of other drama that went down in these last 3 episodes. You said last week one of your favorite people on the show was Kenneth Do you still feel that way?
Well, I wonder how Kenneth did last Thursday when AT&T went out, because the dude was on his phone
the entire time.
It's funny, I saw someone on TikTok said, you should not get on that, because he's a middle school
Principal.
Get on those kids for the phone, because I don't know who he's texting, what he's looking at. I always thought, I know they're in real life, like live, but most shows, you can't have your phone at all, like these shows. And I know they're trying to be back in civility, but I'm still surprised, because you could be literally texting people updates. But I mean, yeah, I was championing it, but he looked so disconnected. I did feel for Brittany.
I did appreciate their breakup, though. I think that was the right move, because like I know there's like a $50,000 fine if you end your relationship early.
Oh wow.
That's what I heard. So yeah, if you don't make it to the altar, and unless it's like physically or psychologically harming either one of the contestants, they fine you $50,000. Sorry, $50,000. If you don't make it to the altar.
I didn't. That's crazy.
But I mean, it made sense. The two of them did not mesh well together at all. And I think, and this is like a theory that's out there on TikTok as well, is the conversation that AD had with Kenneth in the Dominican Republic saying, you know, is she going to be comfortable raising, you know, a black kid? Like, do you want black love? Are you okay with being in an interracial relationship? She didn't make any assumptions. She wasn't judgmental. But I think she did open his eyes up to like all of that stuff that he possibly didn't think of. So I'm curious to know how much that played into it.
I mean, it's really hard to know right now, right? I mean, we'll kind of, obviously we'll see it at the reunion, and we'll have to get Kenneth's side a little bit more on that. But regardless, something changed. Something was a 180 pretty fast
quick
for him.
For him, yeah.
So maybe it was a conversation. I don't know who he's texting, you know, with everybody coming out.
And I'm gonna throw this out there as well. Brittany has handled the situation with total grace.
Yeah.
Like their breakup, as awkward as it was, like she only says nice things about him to the media. And I don't know if that's an NDA thing or if that's really her personality, but it was really like she understood they weren't a match, and she has no ill, as far as I know, ill feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it is a dice roll when you do this show, specifically, and you know there is that is love line, and then especially when you see each other and you have more time outside of just a pod. So I think the more time they spend, I think they realize they weren't a match.
Okay, so another questionable match was Jimmy and Chelsea. We dragged Jimmy so much. Are we going to continue to drag him now that he knows what Jessica looks like?
Oh, I think so. I mean, I think if anything's like producing, they're going to draw all this out. They're going to draw all the emotions. I love he's already part of sketches. Their relationship is part of like comedy sketches, because it is true. I mean, it's such a bag of.
They have both like equally incriminated themselves on this show. Like it's super awkward.
So they kind of have to stick with each other right now. At least get a little further along. I mean, how long do you think it's gonna?
I think, well, they showed in the trailer that they actually do make it to the altar, which is shocking to me.
Which is probably, I'd say this for the best for the show interest and entertainment and turmoil, because I think out of all the couples, except for maybe Jeremy and Lauren, which that looks like that's probably ending pretty soon. That's the one couple.
Oh, we are going to talk about Jeremy and Lauren.
Jeremy, well, I feel like Jimmy and Chelsea needs to make it at least to that end, and then we'll see.
Well, I'm very curious to see like how they portray him in the next couple episodes, especially bringing Jessica back. Jessica having that conversation with Laura, and Laura pushing Jessica to like reach out to Jimmy and all of this stuff, knowing damn well her man was reaching out to Sarah Ann. Okay, can we talk about this now?
Yes.
What was Jimmy doing at Lost and Found in the parking lot?
I know, at first I was trying to think about Lost and Found. It's like, did he get picked? Like, is that like a lot? Like, did he?
Okay, so it's really funny that they're doing like, they're in Charlotte, and Charlotte is a very small town, big city.
Yeah.
Everybody knows each other in Charlotte. And I was talking to one of my friends who used to live in Charlotte, and I was like, oh my God, they're referencing bars I've been to. And she was like, yeah, my friends are friends with the cast. Like, everyone is so like weirdly close knit there. And so when she is breaking down Jeremy's location, she's like, yeah, I know you were at this bar, and that's not where you said you were. You said you were going to go to Uptown, but you were in South End. I don't remember which is what, but it was really funny to me. So now the theory, so she was tracking his location. She said, where the fuck were you at 5 a.m.?
Yeah.
And he said, I was in the parking lot of a bar. And she goes, that bar is not where your location said you were.
Yeah,
you were somewhere else.
The whole Find My Location app has been quite great and quite turmoil.
Do you know how she figured it out? So he allegedly left his phone in his car in that parking lot. But Apple updates to your watch if you're wearing it.
Yeah.
So wherever his watch was is where he was, and that's how she knew he was cheating on her.
Was that Busted? If there's a title Busted, that is that. And he was obviously seeing Sarah Ann, which is interesting because how you were talking about something that ended gracefully. I mean, their relationship was
okay, but they broke up without seeing each other. So when he got his phone back, the first thing he did was look her up. We all know this.
This is why you can't have phones at reality shows.
So now you had Laura sitting down on the couch being like, I caught you in this lie. Are they done? Are we done with Jeremy and Laura?
I mean, that was the cliffhanger. It looked like she says, I'm done. We'll see if that happens. I mean, I could see it going a little bit, maybe another episode or so. I mean, we did in the teaser Saul, Sarah Ann.
Yes.
So it's coming soon.
So they're gonna do that reunion shit.
Yeah.
They'll probably have like a pool party or a rooftop bar situation where they have the entire cast. I'm very curious to see how everyone interacts with each other.
Right now, the gloves are off, and if only they knew about that TikTok stuff, about the relationships, oh man.
Yeah, so at that point they don't know because all of this was filmed a year ago.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's gonna get fed in. How about Johnny and Amy? By the way, I love the bachata lessons.
I knew you would. I thought of you when they started taking dance lessons. I was
like, this is cool.
Yes.
This is my kind of date.
Yeah, so they were doing it for their upcoming wedding. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be the couple of this season. I think they are going to get married at the end of when all is said and done. I was very interested by their big fight, though.
Yeah.
Basically, Amy says that she does not want to take birth control. She doesn't believe in it. It's going to hurt her body. And he wants her to be on birth control because he's not ready to have kids yet. And so they're literally hashing out other alternatives outside of wearing a condom, okay?
Yeah.
To figure this out. So I appreciated that like open discussion. I know there's been other couples that have talked about like abortion and like whether they're ready for kids and this and that. But I think that was the first time we actually saw their relationship, like quote relationship, if that makes sense. Like they had this appeal, they weren't getting a lot of camera time. And now you're like, oh, so they do have real conversations with each other. Good, great.
Yeah, I mean, so far they've been so upbeat. They've been the fun couple, like they're very playful, but it was good to see that challenge inside because there's something they can work on, but I feel it is something they seem to want to work on, so it's not like it's the ultimate like deal breaker for them. Like I said, I do feel like
they're both willing to like compromise and meet each other halfway one way or another, so we'll see how that develops over time.
I like their dynamic overall.
I do too.
But yeah, no, we'll see what happens though. I mean, I feel like there's already so many twists and...
Okay, so last one, AD and Clay.
Oh man.
Oh man.
That was such an awkward, at first it wasn't, with his mom, sister, and at first I was like, okay, this is going well, they're getting feel what each other does. And then AD gets called out by Clay about, her adapting to his lifestyle, being there, schedule, right? Because he's an entrepreneur and the whole, like, you need to be there. I'm like,
Well, she's supposed to be working at a nightclub anyway.
Yeah.
So their schedules are going to be really fucked, and it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to compromise on that. But what I took from that exchange, Clay's kind of a hothead.
Yeah.
Clay gets mad.
Yeah.
So I appreciated the way that AD was just like, she didn't escalate it. Like he was getting mad at her, he was starting to pop off, and she like made a joke out of it, and she kind of got him to simmer down.
Yeah. Because
I know I'm a fiery person. You're gonna yell at me, I'm gonna yell right back. And AD handled that like a champ.
Yeah, no, I thought she handled it with good grace. I just felt it was so tense. Like that whole, I would have been like,
She didn't really have a choice though.
Yeah.
She was in front of his mom and his sister. Like, what are you gonna do? But I think she did fine. My concern with them is Clay gets in his head too much. So Clay has a father who was notorious for cheating. And he thinks because his dad did certain things, he's gonna do certain things. And I'm just interested to see how she pushes him to, quote, be a better man.
Well,
because he keeps saying, well, this is probably going to happen. Like, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm probably going to cheat on you. I'm probably going to do some shady shit. And it's up to you whether you want to stay with me or not.
Then I would say, buddy, you got free will and you got decisions. And that means if I'm AD, I'm out of there as fast as fire. That means you're already predetermining that you can't control yourself. And that's just, it's not good, Clay. It's not good.
So do they make it to the altar?
No.
I think they do.
You do?
Whether she says, I don't think she's going to say yes, but they're definitely going to make it to the altar.
So that's your shock take.
My shot take is going on Clay and AD? Sure.
Is that altar? That's next week, next episode, or we got 2 more?
I think it's going to be 2 weeks from now.
All right, then maybe we'll save that closer to when that episode.
I think the next round of episodes is going to be the cast meeting each other for the first time in full, not just the couples that matched. So you're going to get to see Jimmy and Jessica interact on camera. You're going to get to see a possible interaction between Sarah Ann and Laura.
Yeah.
Those are things that are coming up next.
So then maybe our shock take is what we think in the next episode. Does Laura return? Does Sarah Ann turn up in the next one?
I would love to see them talk.
So what's your prediction?
I want to see Laura chew the fuck out of Sarah Ann because Sarah Ann knew better.
So that's your shot take?
Sure.
And then mine is Amy and Johnny are going to do more bachata.
No, they're not doing any more bachata.
I think mine is going to be Jimmy and Chelsea. I do think they make the altar, but I think next week's episode there's going to hit another big wall that's going to be near the breaking point.
Yep, we will see. All right, Charlie, since we are here at American Airlines Center and it is a Stars game night, it is only right that we spend some time talking about what's going on with the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
So up until the game against Carolina the other night, Stars were actually on a 4-game losing streak, losing, 2 of them in overtime / shootout. So we're kind of nervous here. We're like, going into that Carolina game, we're like, we're the best in our division. What is happening? Are we falling apart? Granted, we lost to some really great opponents. It's not like we lost to bad teams.
Yeah.
And then we got the really tight win against Carolina. What's going on, Charlie?
Man, I'll say based on Saturday, I felt like they got back into the rhythm, the groove. I felt, really good at what they're doing defensively, but also just offensively being more aggressive. Shout out to Robo right off the bat. That's what we need. Mm-hmm. You're asking who do we really need to look for in shot? That's the guy. And Pavelski as well. We need that leadership because who's going to really get you out of that slump? Your leaders, your front men. And that's what I wanted to see. That's not what I was seeing in this losing streak at all. Sometimes a little bit of deer in the headlights.
Well, you're literally relying on Matt Duchene to carry this team right now, which is,
do that.
Rope Hintz has been pretty quiet these last couple weeks too. So you're right, we don't.
Sandy's been a little cold.
Drink.
Yeah, there's no shot.
You're like.
No, but I think that your leaders right there have really showed up big. Got to continue that going in tomorrow. Tonight. Against the Islanders. We'll see, but we need that defense.
I need us to win games in regulation.
Yes.
That's what I need. And that falls on the defense, but right now the offense is kind of cold too if you think about it. Like we said, Rupe Hintz isn't scoring much.
They're not.
Robertson's getting tried. Drink.
I'm doing this to myself.
You doing it on purpose?
We need to see both strong sides of the puck. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Now we're getting to the point. I know there's still a little bit of time, but Colorado's right behind us, and not too far off in the rearview mirror. You got to win as much as you can. You can't have another streak like we did. We need to turn it the other way, which we were seeing coming into February. So that defense can get going. Yeah,
this is the time. Before I was like, I'm not worried about it, but we're in March. Next week is March.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. This Friday
is March.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So tonight is the time to really turn up the gear. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see what Pete DeBoer does and make those adjustments and get this team really going.
How do you feel about this rookie, Stankoven?
Well, happy birthday. Is his birthday yesterday?
I think his birthday was yesterday.
And tonight they're celebrating. Well, happy birthday, 21.
Yeah, he's legal.
Do you remember where you were when you turned 21?
Yeah, I actually do. I celebrated my 21st birthday in Uptown at Idle Rich, which is no longer here.
Oh.
Yeah. I was in the middle of finals at SMU, and I was able to get a couple of my friends to go out and celebrate my 21st birthday.
I was at Kona Grill in North Park. It was, yeah.
That's a throwback.
Yes, I mean, their
I used
happy
to go
hour is
there
great.
too. Yeah.
Didn't know how to take a sake bomb at all during that. That was pretty wild night, fun night, too much fun.
Yep, I believe it. What was your drink of choice when you were 21?
I mean, I usually did Crown and Coke because I was kind of introduced to that early, and then I did Shiner Bock. I mean, back then, before I got in, that was right before I really got into like love this music, bumping. There we go.
Free game. What are you gonna do?
We're here at Dirty Bones, right across from American Airlines Center. Stars New York Islanders tonight. So, yes.
And we're talking about drinking.
And we are. That's what we do.
So my drink of choice at 21 was called a skinny bitch. Do you know what a skinny bitch is?
No, I don't.
Vodka water. I was disgusting.
Well, I mean, it's healthy, right? But
It was either that or I drank a shit ton of Malibu. I drank Malibu and pineapple or Malibu and cranberry.
honestly, Malibu, I did have a bit of Malibu or Captain Morgan.
I drank a lot.
That's before I advanced and I found other rums and whiskeys. But I mean, when you're 21,
It
you
wasn't
only have so
Captain
much
Morgan.
budget.
It was Sailor Jack's.
Yes. Yeah, that's the cheaper Captain Morgan, which not that Captain Morgan's that much expensive, but you do what you got to do when you're in college.
Well, yeah. So one last thing on the Stars. Trade deadline is on the 8th. Yes, I looked it up because I had no idea. I honestly thought we already missed it.
Yeah.
Do you see the Stars making a move for a bigger, stronger defenseman?
I mean, I think they should. I memean, you're right there. You need that one extra.
We're literally in the bottom 10th
Yeah.
for hits.
Yeah, well, I think so. And I mean, last year, they did make a move with Dami, which was a great move. I mean, really helped elevate it at that point. But you're right, we need that big guy, and we need now. If we're gonna get really serious, I mean, we saw against the Rangers last week how physical the Rangers are. We're gonna have more of these teams. If we're gonna be a legit contender, and we're gonna win this division, we're gonna need that extra guy.
Yeah, we have to win this division. I'm not selling for a wild card. We are too good. We could win the West. Like, get it together. Like, I'm tired.
And our home ice percentage is pretty good. I mean, it's like most of our Dallas teams, minus the Rangers. I feel, though, like, yeah, we need to be in the lead. We need that.
All right, cool. So what's on tap for next week, Charlie?
Man, we got UFC 299 about to reach
In Miami.
In Miami. Man, you want to talk about ticket prices. I was looking just for funsies like a couple months ago. It's a lot, but great card there. Got more sports. Baseball's in preseason here.
But we have a guest.
We do have a guest next Monday night. Local MMA fighter Lee Colvin should be on our show. Help us break down. He is a 135er. The main event's 135. O'Malley versus Vera. So
Can't wait for this one.
great.
Cheeto Vera is one of my favorite fighters.
Yes.
I'm really pumped.
He's very funny too.
Yes, he is. He's hilarious.
He's entertaining. That's why I think this fight makes so much sense. So.
Yep. Cool. So I'm looking forward to it. Cheers.
All right,
Have a great
cheers.
night. Go Stars.
Go Stars.